Kim from Seoul National University, and I will chair this session. Let me introduce the keynote speaker, Dr. Choi. Dr. Choi is an executive vice president at Samsung Electronics, and he manages Samsung Software Research and Development Center as a deputy head. Before joining Samsung Electronics, he worked at IBM TJ Watson Research Center as a research staff member and manager. Dr. Choi is an expert on optimization technologies for Java, C, C++, and other programming languages, and optimizing web services and programming tools for distributed and parallel systems. He was a key contributor to the Pthread parallelizing compiler project and the JAX RVM open source Java virtual machine project, both at IBM Research. He received his bachelor degree from Seoul National University and his master degree from KAIST and his PhD in computer science from University of Wisconsin at Madison. Let us welcome him.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Jong Choi, just introduced. Today, I'm going to talk about first the World Wide Web, particularly the good things about it, and the bad things, and the ugly parts. After that, I'm going to talk about a software platform named Tizen, and how Tizen tamed the web and also leads to the future, and I'm going to conclude. So this is the web, and the web is like wild west with the good, the bad, and the ugly. And even the acronym WWW may stand for Wild West. So let's talk about the good things. The web offers lots of treasures, gems, gold coins. When people think about the web, one of the things they think about is that it is a massive repository of knowledge, symbolized very well by a website called Wikipedia. And when I went to Wikipedia, no surprise, it has a page on this particular component. The web also connects lots of people, sometimes in ad hoc ways, serendipity ways, or sometimes in very systematic ways through some website called Meetup. When you visit the Meetup website, you can join it, you can join many interest groups, meet people with similar interests, similar goals, maybe political, social, or even some entertainment. And they can have some outdoor activities and kids sports, volunteer works, and a lot of things. The web connects even some people who were separated as infants. Two twin girls were born on November 19th, 1987. Shortly after that, they got adopted separately. One girl to an American United States family and became Samantha. The other girl, adopted by a French family, became Anaïs. And they had never known even the existence of the other twin. Up until February 2013, one of the girls got a message to her Facebook account from a friend who said that, oh, I saw somebody who looked exactly the same as you. Then they started getting connected, and eventually they met, and they even have a website. It's a very happy story of about some potentially sad story that happened at Deok. It also offers a lot of fun, games, and entertainment, lots of fun. Something called MMORPG, very difficult to pronounce, difficult to remember, but very fun to play. Titanfall was recently released and it got very excellent reviews. And to make sure, no, Samsung was not the manufacturer of the game. Okay? It's for macho young guys, and it got so much rave reviews, I almost got tempted to install one on my machine and to play it, although I have not done it. There is some other kind of games, so-called social network game for more family-oriented, more kid-oriented people, such as Farmville 2. And more fun, Gangnam Style got downloaded, almost 2 billion copies from the YouTube, and the Gangnam is here. The venue of this conference is in the middle of Gangnam. So you have ample opportunities to see what Gangnam Style really means, in good ways or in bad ways, depending on your taste. And there are lots of parodies after that Gangnam Style, even Donald Duck, Panda, and some people, and even some Red Army version for people just 100 miles north from here. Okay. And also the web creates new businesses, and it also transforms old pre-existing businesses. So look at this page. There is a Blockbuster. That was the store that I used to visit almost every weekend to rent videos for me, for my family, or for my children. That is gone. There was the Borders bookstore I used to visit for books. That's gone. There's the Virgin Megastore that I never visited, but that is also gone. And there is a Best Buy that still exists, but that has been trying to change their business model to survive and to flourish in this new business environment. And in their places, there are new businesses, or there are new ways of running businesses, like Netflix, Amazon.com, and Panda. And it transforms not only commercial businesses, but it also transforms the wonderful education system via something called MOOC, Massive Open Online Course. There is Coursera, there is the EDX, and I'm sure some of you, or a lot of you, may be involved in one or both of these systems, or maybe in building a third or fourth one right now. Okay? And very soon, everyone says, and I believe that web will be everywhere, connecting everything and every person. Internet of Things, or Internet of everything, you name it. Okay. And web will be everywhere, on streets, ubiquitous cities, flexible screen wrapping around the building and giving you every bit and pieces of the latest news. And there will be multi-formed gadgets and smart mobile apps. Web will be everywhere at home in the form of virtual gym. Every family member can be connected in the family network, and smart cooker can give you very personalized, hands-on step-by-step guidance on preparing some dish of your favorite or your significant partner's favorite. And there can be home entertainment. An office, soon you will have the capability for ultra high definition video conferencing simultaneously with multiple parties separated over ocean, over continent. And the images and the audio quality will be so great, you would not even be able to tell whether you are actually with the partners or you are just attending a video conference. Smart desk. You will sit in your desk, but you will have your partners, colleagues working on the same project, sitting next to you in the virtual world. Although they will work far away, separated in the other part of the continent or in the other part of the world. That's a smart desk. And you will even have a virtual personal assistant who will know about you more than you yourself may know about you and remember about you. The whole thing will be connected through web. So very soon, web will be everywhere, connecting everything and every person without any boundaries, separating those things or separating those people among them. So the key word here is connecting without any boundaries. But almost everything in life that's good usually comes with its evil twin, the bad guys and the ugly guys. So, what about the bad thing? Well, the guy is sitting in his kiosk at just around the corner, selling the goods out of the leaked information, which might not be that far from reality. So, whenever you put down your very confidential personal information, like the password to the web through desktop or notebook, it may be equal to giving your password to the funny guy sitting behind the desktop wearing very funny glasses. Why? There is very widespread leakage of information. Yeah, just this year, there was an article saying that Neiman Marcus is a very high-end store, had 1.1 million credit card information exposed in 3-month hacking. Target cyber breach happened December last year, and about 40 million payment cards have been exposed, and I was one of the victims. So I got a new credit card early this year. Okay? And what else could symbolize this potential leakage of information more than the presence of a website called WikiLeaks? Okay. Although not every piece of information posted to this website has been obtained through the web, but at least every of that has been posted to the web. Oh, by the way, I was agonizing over whether I should put this in the good side of the web or the bad side of the web. But in the end, I decided to put this here because it gives a better story along the line of leakage of information, okay? But my disclaimer is that my putting this here in no way reflects any of my religious, social, political belief. Okay, my disclaimer. Second, security breaching. Smartphones at risk of malicious code injection through HTML5 based apps. What are HTML5 based apps? They are web apps, apps that you can download from the web. And this is a conference on World Wide Web. Oh boys. Does any of you purchase Bitcoin? Well, so February 24th, 2014, Bitcoin is cyber money, no real money, but it has real values used by real people. And the value has been downing on the same day because 740K Bitcoins are found to be missing from Mt. Gox. And that amount amounts to hundreds of millions of dollars. This happened because of security breaches. Okay? So, the second bad part, that's low performance, or at least the perceived low performance. So in 2013, Vision Mobile sent out a question asking the developers what stopped them from making apps using HTML5. Basically, what stops them from making web apps. About half of them answered that performance is the highest concern. Okay. By the way, pay attention to the second item. It says that limited access to hardware APIs. Some of them may be surprised to hear that because on the desktop, when you write web apps, you almost never have to worry about or care about limited or unlimited access to the low-level hardware APIs. That's the desktop. But that is a big issue for all the other smart devices, like smartphones, smartwatches, and any other smart device. Okay? And the result? Well, you are in the middle of watching a very interesting scene, and literally nothing is moving. You are just sitting down, waiting for something to happen one way or another. Okay? That's bad. And at the right lower corner, somebody is trying to build an application using HTML5. And whether it's the avatar of the developer or the character in the game, I'm not sure. But he is waiting for something to happen due to low performance. Okay. So, the two most widely recognized bad things are the securities and the perceived low performance of the web. What about the ugly parts? Well, so this is a very recent one. It talks about this particular conference, and it says this system is optimized at Microsoft Internet Explorer version 8.0 or later, and the emoticon indicates that he was not happy with that. Okay, but I'm an engineer, so what should I do? I tried. Oh, it came out very nicely, with a very nice, handsome picture of Christos sitting at the desk. But as an engineer, I normally don't believe what I see. What would you do? I poked around. Oops, Internet 10, and pulled down menu. Try it with the Internet 10, Explorer 10. The pull-down menu is hidden behind that nice, handsome picture of Christos. So as an engineer trained with testing and debugging, the first kind of possibility I made was, well, I thought, yeah, there may be a security hole in the website, and Christos may have been able to hack into the system to make sure his face always come at top. Oh, that's one possibility. Another possibility is there may be an incomparable implementation between the website and the web browser. But I'm a very open-minded person. Okay, so as an engineer, what should I do? Oh, I tried another one, IE11. That works fine. So what should I think about it? I'm still a very open-minded person. Two possibilities. Christos did hack, but he didn't completely succeed. The second possibility, there might be an incomparable implementation. By the way, I tried IE8. It worked fine. I couldn't find any desktop near my office that runs either IE9 or IE12. So I was not able to test with those. And as a reasonable engineer, I stopped there. Okay. When you say, oh, okay, I think I already said, another technical explanation is there is an incomparable implementation between the website and the web browser, right? Okay, to make sure. When you think this is ugly, there is something that's even uglier. South Korea is referred to as a nation with the most wire with very fast internet. The left-hand side says South Korea, the penetration, high-speed internet penetration is 45%. The right-hand side, South Korea tops with internet speed. Very highly wired, all the best thing. And I didn't show, but I think there may be some study that says the ratio of people using the latest smartphone is highest in South Korea. I can easily imagine. It's a great story, but we have too much dependence on ActiveX. If you ask me what ActiveX is, then maybe you are too young to know about it. Anyway, in 2012, 74% of top 200 websites in Korea use ActiveX. 93% of financial institutes and 100% of bookstores. What does that mean? If you try to make any financial transactions through the web, 93% of the time you would fail unless your system supports something called ActiveX. 100% fail with the bookstores. Okay? Why? Because of incomparable or obsolete, no longer supported standards and implementation. Now, this is very, very ugly. It's not just the incomparable implementations. The web also has incomparable world. It's not the web itself, but the surrounding system that heavily use the web, heavily depends on the web. Here is the web, and every guy all speaks the same web language. Download the web apps written in the web language. What is web language? HTML5, JavaScript, and CSS. Everyone seems to be happy because they speak the same language and they understand one another very well. However, indeed, there are two different worlds that coexist on every device you have today. One is the world of web, speaking the web language, but the other is the device world that speaks mostly its own language. On the far left corner, the device language is Java. The middle one, the device language is Objective-C. The rightmost one, the device language is C, C++, maybe .NET, or maybe C#. So there are two heterogeneous, one world using the same web language homogeneously across different devices, including the web. But on each device, there is a separate world, speaking its own device language. And each of these devices comes with, gets connected to, is bound to its own app store. It does not reflect the choices or flexibility. There is no choice. A device speaking a particular device world can only get connected to the app store that understands and supports the language. And they cannot get connected to different app store. There are multiple incompatible worlds exist. And furthermore, they do not speak with one another. There is a wall, there is a barrier, there is a boundary separating them because they don't have the same language. It's almost like what happened to people in the world after the fall of Babel Tower. The Tower of Babel, when they got destroyed, that's when people started speaking different languages, so that people could never get the power of using the same language to grow. No, according to some legend. Okay? Then where is the source? What are the sources of the world? Two things. One is the different languages they use. They cannot communicate with one another unless they belong to the same class of devices using the same language. The second thing is they are either closed proprietary systems or semi-open systems. Putting two people speaking the same language in the same room does not automatically mean they will live in a harmonious, peaceful way, collaborating to their full extent. They have to open up their mind, their heart, and their thoughts. Unless they open up their mind, heart, and thoughts to one another, it would be very difficult for them to adjust to the changing environments, including other people. So there are two sources. Different languages are used between the web and device and also among different devices. Second, the device is a built-on platform that is either closed or semi-open. Okay. So what should we do? We need to tame the web and lead to the future. If you don't know who this guy is, then maybe you are too old, or maybe you are too young. Okay. Toy Story. I love that story. My kids love that story. And Tyson will tame the problems I mentioned and also will lead to the future through its web-centric vision, crystal clear from the crystal ball it's looking at. Okay? So what is Tizen? Tizen is a standard-based web-centric software platform. What does that mean? It means that Tizen's API for the device apps is the same as the well-known web APIs. What does that mean? There's no distinction between web apps you download from the web and the device apps you download from the app stores or you write yourself. It's a homogeneous world that encompasses the web and the device together. Also, Tizen supports very excellent security and provides high performance to all the most commonly associated problems of the web. Second, Tizen is a cross-category software platform. What does that mean? This, oops, oh, okay, I was told. This is cross-category software, meaning that the same apps can and will run on many different types of devices. But partly because the platform supports the single common language for the web apps and for the device. And finally, it's a fully open source software platform, which means that if you come up with a brilliant, innovative idea for a new type of device, you would not need any permission from any owner of platforms to define that device and build the software for that device by taking the Tizen as an open source, and you can reuse any of them that you can reuse in a way that fits your purpose, and you can delete any part that does not support anything or that is not needed for your new device. And you can add anything, you can modify anything to fit the purpose of your new, brilliant, and innovative device, because it's completely open. So let me briefly tell you how Tizen handles the two bad things, the security problem and the perceived performance problem of the web. For the security, the Tizen secures major points in the whole application life cycle. From the SDK, when the developer develops the application, SDK puts and performs some of its static and dynamic analysis to filter out bad things. And the app developer puts the app into the App Store. The servers on the App Store perform static analysis, and sometimes hybrid analysis of static and dynamic with profile to further identify security problem. And when it gets downloaded to the device to be installed, then the Tizen platform supports antivirus framework with pluggable capability. And that capability allows the device to filter the application about to be installed even before any execution. And the antivirus, of course, will also work during the execution time. However, there are further data protection and privacy insurance through Deok, SMAC, Simplified MAC, and sandboxing and API privileges. And it clearly separates the business domain and your personal domain for something called BYOD, bring your own device to your work. Okay. performance yet, Tizen has performed very extensive sets of optimizations at a very extensive level. So for 2D canvas performance score, it has 3.49, much better than some stock one. For the lower 3D WebGL, it supports 60 frames per second on your smartphone. The highest before this was something around 30. 60 frames per second on your smartphone is almost as good as desktop in supporting dynamic 3D game. And it also supports high quality and audio video through various codecs, rich web media support, and video rendering. So that's how it handles the bad things. But the most important part is that how Tizen actually solves the ugly part of incompatibility. Incompatibility of the implementation and the incomparable world. It solves them via two things. First, being web-centric, and second, being fully open. So web will be everywhere, connecting everything and every person without any boundaries. This is the vision, this is what people say will happen. However, as I said before, there are worlds between the web world and device world, and even in the device world, separating different devices because of different languages and closeness of the system. We need to break down the world, like what happened after the fall of Berlin Wall. Okay, we have to break. And what Tizen provides is being web-centric and fully open. Through that, through those two things, we can really have fully harmonic single world. Web-centric means we use the same web language for the web, for the device, and through that, everything gets connected, everything else, most smooth and most harmonious way in cooperative execution. Since the same web APIs are used for both web apps and for device apps, this represents Tizen's public API for the app. The same APIs are used for building web apps and devices. And as a result, these devices running Tizen like this smartwatch, to them there is no distinction whether the particular app you would like to run is available only from the web to be downloaded or on the App Store, because they are the same. Virtually, there is no distinction between web apps and devices. Of course, to make that a reality, we have to support the standard well. So this is how Tizen fares. As of today, early this morning, the HTML5 test.com score, Tizen browser score is 497 out of 500. The missing 3 points are mostly for very desktop business-dependent features. Okay, smart. And the second thing, I think I mentioned before that the top 2 items people mentioned is that stopping developers from building web apps. First, the performance. The second is the lack of APIs to control the low-level hardware feature. So for that, Tizen has a rich set of device APIs of course, all written in web language. And they are defined following web API, and it's ready for W3C standards. On the mobile, there is a web API for SMS, MMS, and for SIM card phone information. A lot of these are not part of the W3C standard yet. And for smartwatches, heart rate monitor API for car information, APIs for digital TV channel information, a lot of them. And what we are doing is not just to providing this API, but working with the W3C to make them part of the W3C standard to keep the comparability as high as possible. Finally, it's a fully open source platform. Here is a Tizen. That's an open box, meaning that you can pull or you can contribute into that, and you can take out things from the box in any way possible that you may like, that may fit the purpose of your new devices or old device. It's a fully open source platform following W3C, HTML5, CSS. So because of this, you can very easily define new device categories to make your dream of the most brilliant and most innovative new device a reality, without having to worry about whether you may have to get any permission from anyone. And it's very easy to build comparable devices. So this is how Tizen leads to web-centric future without any boundaries, through by us providing the same language for the web, for the device, among the devices, and by fully opening up the system for anyone to use, modify, or contribute. Okay, there are a few practical system features that I would like to briefly introduce. So, Tizen development environment is a comprehensive set. It has many features that you may be able to find from other SDKs. But one notable thing about this is that Tizen SDK itself is an open source, meaning that when you define a new device category and you need to support developing applications specifically for that device, then you can take the Tizen open source SDK and you can modify not only the Tizen platform, but also SDK. It's a complete open system. And it supports developing apps for multi-devices. And it also works on multiple operating systems. It works on Windows, Mac OS X, and Ubuntu. You download, install one SDK, and you can use the same SDK for many different types of applications, for many different types of devices. And it is all in one suite with the VGV, a lot of analysis, test, debugging, and build the system. Okay. So finally, so it's an open system. It has open source community. We may have an entry in the midst of website. I need to check. But this is the website, so you can visit. And it has everything. It has a source code for this Tizen-based smartwatch. It has a source code for soon to come out Tizen-based smartphones. It has everything. You can take a look at, you can read the source code, you can build, you can modify, you can try. finally, Tizen is an excellent tool for your research and for your education. It's a fully open source with lots of state-of-the-art technical components with their source code. So you can take a look at, you can build, and you can replace any of those modules with your own research results or for your own testing and research and see how things work. It's not a partial system, it's a complete system for building smartphones, smartwatches, and a lot of smart things. Also, for the same reason, this is an excellent vehicle for education. You can let your children use that tool. It has a great, very convenient, easy to use IDE with source code, debugging, testing, emulation. Okay, so I think it will be great for your research students, for yourself, or for your students. Conclusion, Tizen leads to the web-centric future via providing the same language for the web world and for the device world and for the entire set of different types of devices and being fully open. So Tizen is the best platform for synergic values and is the best way to utilize the web ecosystem, and is the enabler for synergy and convergence among different types of devices. And just in case you already forgot the website in the previous page, this is the website. Okay. And thank you. And one more advertisement. June 2 through June 4 in San Francisco, we'll have the third Tizen Developer Conference. You are very welcome to come and participate. Thanks a lot.
Thank you very much, Dr. Choi. It was a wonderful talk. We have a few more minutes for questions.
Good morning. I'm Sang-Gu Lee from Seoul National University. It's a very interesting system that you have presented to Tizen. Will we be seeing a lot of devices from Samsung that runs Tizen? And second question is, you already have a lot of devices that run Android. If an Internet of Things scenario, how are you going to deal with the interoperability and collaboration issues with the devices that run Android?
The second question first. It's a fully open system, it's very flexible, and it's very easy to provide interoperability even between a Tizen device and a non-Tizen device. For example, we already have that. This is Galaxy S5 just coming out. And this is Samsung Gear 2. It runs Android and it runs Tizen. I use this to check the message to make a phone call. So it's seamlessly connected. Just the second question. The first question. Actually, I had another slide that shows all the Tizen-based products to come out along the timeline, a lot, at various time points, but I deleted because I thought I would be allowed to have only one commercial that I used for Tizen Developer Conference in June. Okay, so if you are really, really interested, I can make a hard copy and I can give that to you. Okay?
question?
You know, usually at the end of the technical presentation, no question could mean a few things. I'm very open-minded. One is, no one understood. The second possibility is, no one was interested. The third possibility was, what the heck? Okay. Any question?